बालवीर सीज़न 3 का फुल एपिसोड 7, जिसमें आप देखेंगे कि किस तरह बालवीर को तुवेर और बाबेल के मारने पर शाश्वान की अदालत में खड़ा किया जाता है, मगर उसी वक्त आगिल पृथ्वीलोक पर आग के गोले भेज देती है, जिन्हें बालवीर को किसी भी हालत में रोकना होगा। अगर आप सबसे पहले सीज़न 3 के एपिसोड्स देखना चाहते हैं तो मैजिक वर्ल्ड को सब्सक्राइब कर दें और इस वीडियो को लाइक कर दें, ताकि अगले सीज़न 3 के फुल एपिसोड्स आपके पास सबसे जल्दी आएँ। तो इस एपिसोड को शुरू करते हैं। Today's episode is all about the promo that was released yesterday, and the promo had Balveer in a court or in a trial of Shashwan Lok, which was called Karagreh, as Bhemar suggested. And this is actually really, well, you can say it's a good court system, good accordance to law, to have a trial system for anyone who is just, you can say, who isn't indicated, or who is just not, you can say, who isn't pleaded guilty, or who hasn't pleaded guilty to the crimes. And this trial will allow us to see if Balveer is really guilty of killing Tuer and Babil. Now, there are a lot of things that are going to happen in this episode, and the trailer alone tells us an idea and gives us an idea that Balveer in this trial as well will be, you can say, will be there to protect the people of Earth. Now, as Balveer, and we all know that you can say the alarm system of Shashwan Lok probably was held and it was going off, but then again it is the matter of the lives of people on Earth. So he has to do everything in his power to save those lives. So the promo that we saw of Agil painfully releasing her red blobs of magic was actually asteroids. So Agil is sending asteroids, these giant fire asteroids filled with lava, to destroy Earth, or you can say a part of Earth, and to really hurt people. And Balveer cannot let that happen, and that's why Balveer doesn't abide by the rules of the trial and is escaping the trial to save the lives of people on Earth. Now, of course, there are some nitpicks that are going to be questioned, that are Balveer not knowing the stakes, or actually Uttan and Shashmar not knowing the stakes of this situation, because there are massive asteroids that are hurtling and that are really have their direction towards Earth, and they can have a very huge impact, and Balveer is the only one who can stop them. And of course, Balveer does some, you can say, his stupid decisions will end him up in situations that are really that really consist of dire consequences. And yes, there are things that we need to talk about, and those things include Balveer being stripped of his powers. And some might also ask why Agil is sending these asteroids and why Agil is planning to destroy Earth when Kashvi is not on Earth but on Udaka Lok in her eyes. And the question is really, I mean, it is good, it is a good question, but then again, Kashvi was probably not found on Udaka Lok, because everyone here is in Shashwan Lok, so Udaka Lok was probably not guarded well. So people from Himbash Lok probably searched Udaka Lok and probably search with a radar to find Mahajadu and the radiation of Mahajadu, considering they have good technology. They are high in technology, so it is entirely possible for them to do so. So them using some sort of way to find out that Kashvi is actually not on Udakalok but on Prithvilok, then that's the only reason why Kashvi or why Agil would attack Earth. But then again, if Agil kills Kashvi, then her Mahajadu will also be her Mahajadu will be disintegrated, and it will be spread across the universe, or there is a probability that Mahajadu just explodes on Earth, thus just destroying Earth. So of course Agil is smarter than that, and she wouldn't just stupidly attack the only thing that matters to her the most. So this could probably a distraction, and Agil did this so that she can lure out Baal, Veer and everyone from Udakalok to go protect Prithvilok, while she sends her army, her Sena, or she just goes by herself to retrieve Kashvi from Udakalok. And of course, there are a lot of things that need to be discussed, and you can say the sequence of Balveer with Kashvi and actually Balveer with Agil is probably newer. It is definitely newer, and it is going to be probably aired on the 10th episode actually, so there is quite a lot of time for that as well. But then again, there are a lot of things that seem to be a filler in Balveer episodes, when in fact this shouldn't be the case. It should be packed with entertainment. But some scenes feel like fillers in this very exclusive show when it only airs 2 times in a week, or you can say 1 hour in 1 week. So that's really bothering, and we really hope that the future episodes of Balveer season 3 are better than these ones, and there has to be less fillers in this show so that they don't feel like fillers and they actually have a lot of intriguing plot to them, which will ultimately be in the favor of our new show. So that's that, and of course there are a lot of other things that need to be talked about. And some people really need to know that a lot of things here don't really, you can say, matter. But then again, it is really the writers' decisions to do things that are, you can say, important and are as important as other things. And Balveer saving people from being destroyed shouldn't definitely be looked bad. And of course, if Balveer does attack, and actually he does attack Sheshmag, it is for the greater good, because if Balveer doesn't protect, or if Balveer isn't there to protect the people of Earth, then there is no hope for anyone else. So it really is a good idea to, you can say, forgive Balveer, because this probably is the reason why Balveer doesn't get destroyed ultimately, and it probably is the reason why it is not doing as great as it should be. And yes, one of the things that might affect the TRP is also the teaser in Baal Veer season 3 that Sony Sub does, and we really hope that they change their route and they change the way how they are made. And of course there are other things that need to be worried about as well. Now the episodes themselves are really good, and the only thing that needs to be better are the writing. And the writing, at some point it peaks, like the scene that is probably our favorite and is probably the best written dialogue in this show so far, and it was the dialogue of episode 6 where Veer and Babel die, and Shashmag just makes fun of Baal Veer, but it isn't even intentional. He is just as, you can say, angered at Baal Veer as anyone would be, which is understandable, and they just do that, and it is really understandable in his point of view, but then again he is doing this out of jealousy and bitterness, and he is bitter. So we really hope that they change this and the rest of the plot changes with them, right? So yes, it is definitely, and it was really emotional. It really was emotional at some point, and they really did a great job directing the episode, which was good, and we really hope that it just changes throughout the courses, throughout its course, and it probably will be changing. And the rest of the show really depends upon the TRP, which is really correct, but TRP does not mean that this show is going to go off air. Now there will be some sort of, you can say, chances given to this show, and it is completely dependent on them to do this. Now we have discussed ways how Baal Veer season 3 could increase its TRP by including some characters, by removing other characters, by having this conflict that is really important for the show itself. And it really is going to be intriguing if they actually listen to their fans and listen to what fans have to say. Now, of course, Baal Veer is not evil. He is far from evil. He is definitely you can say, the protector of the realm, and him becoming king is definitely something that is really interesting at some point, and it really is something that should be really appreciated. And then again, there are things that need to be appreciated in other sort of things as well. And of course, we have discussed those things before. Now, as of now, there are some things that need to be changed, and as of now, it's still going good, but we know that the plot might become boring, and the plot might become, you can say, overused, and this would ultimately bring back make the TRP even lower. It will tank the TRP, which isn't a good look for this new show, which already is starting off with a very low TRP. And sticking Baal Veer to the fantasy realms, to the Baal Veer realms in the Baal Veer universe instead of Earth is definitely a good idea, and it definitely is something that it's definitely something that fans want. And in my opinion, they should try their best to connect the three shows and and this would ultimately be the best, you can say, way to join these three shows together, which will ultimately you can say merge all of the three fandoms of three different shows. So we really hope that they decide to do something about it, and the rest of the show will definitely be dependent on it as well. And there are other things that are really, you can say, full of impact in Baal Veer 3, and of course we are definitely going to suggest new things that will be in favor of this new show. Now there are, wait a second, so the episode 7 and 8 probably, and it's definitely revolving around Baal Veer doing stupid things in his trial, which will ultimately be the result of him being banished, and that's the whole idea behind it. But then after banishing Baal Veer and after stripping him of all his powers, there is a high chance of this show tanking even more, because Baal Veer without powers isn't Baal Veer. He is just another kid. And when Baal Veer lost his powers in the past, it was for the greater good, because he came back even stronger. But this is the same mistake that Baal Veer Returns made, which was the ultimate demise of the show. So completely removing Baal Veer isn't always a great idea. It is definitely something that is intriguing at some point, but not all the time, and they should know this better than anyone else, and it should definitely be allowed to be the way the first Baal Veer was. Now the thing is that as of now everyone is looking at Baal Veer 3 as they looked at Baal Veer season 1 and season 2, which was Baal Veer Returns. Now it can't be the same all the time. It definitely has to be something of a, you can say, something that is somewhat changed. Well, Baal Veer 3 has a lot of changes, and Baal Veer 3 is definitely a lot changed than the previous two shows, and it is very obvious. And the only things that are left that are unchanged are the you can say the names that are left, and that name is only of Baal Veer. So we have discussed about this as well, and yes, there are a lot of discussions regarding the death of previous Baal Veer. Now our theories suggested that the previous Baal Veer was actually a Baal Veer from season 1 and season 2, but that is completely impossible. Or it could just be Happy, the new Baal Veer that we saw in Baal Veer Returns, and how he did a mistake which ultimately resulted him into being banished, or we can say perished. So just like how Doctor Strange in a different universe was doomed by the Darkhold, there could be something you can say revolving around the Darkhold in the Baal Veer universe that could corrupt a Baal Veer's mind, which would ultimately be the sacrifice that could be held for Baal Veer, because Darkhold corrupted Baal Veer is not a good sign for a good Baal Veer, and we always are rooting for Baal Veer. So that could be one of the reasons. So we really want to know what really happened, how the old Baal Veer was killed. It would really make a good entertaining plot of the previous Baal veer for the previous Baal veer, and how Sheshmag, you can say, was turned into, or we can say was stripped of his powers, because this is a really good plot and we were really hoping to have a good and a grand reveal. But these reveals tend to be, and they are probably the grand or major reveal of this show, is definitely sitting in the very 10th episode of Baal veer season 3. So we really hope, we are really looking forward to see what this episode has for us and how many secrets can be unveiled in the next episodes of Baal veer season 3. And we really hope that Baal veer season 3 is given a different treatment as compared to the regular shows that air on Monday to Friday, because those shows are definitely different. They air on Monday to Friday. They have different rollouts and different, you can say, timings and techniques of showing those episodes to their fans. But Baal veer season 3, as it airs only 2 episodes per week, should be given more, you can say, opportunities to show itself to the fans, because fans are really hungry for new episodes. But since it's been given the same treatment, fans are unable to watch episodes on Sony Sub and Sony Live. So the only channel that fans can rely on is Magic World. So you can subscribe our channel so you never miss new episodes of Baal veer season 3 before any other platform uploads them. With this, our episode 7 of Baal veer season 3 comes to an end. Subscribe our channel and watch these Baal veer episodes only on Magic World, where new Baal veer episodes are daily uploaded with new ideas. Only for the true Baal veer fans who want to experience the wonders of Baal veer that are brought to you by Magic World. Take care of yourself and be happy.